This is Win News.
Tonight, the community rallies behind those injured after a car crashes through a dance studio. The countdown on to this year's I-98 FM Camp Quality Convoy. And honouring the Lake Illawarra Command's top police officers. Good evening, I'm Karen Johnston.
I'm Jeff Phillips. Also tonight, a post-mortem carried out on a body found near Otford.
And the devastating impact a foot and mouth outbreak would have on Australian agriculture.
Former ballroom dancing champion Ray Reeves says no words will ever describe the grief he feels after his car lurched through the window of a Wollongong dance hall while a class of children was inside. Now the community is banding together around an injured mother and her 18-month-old daughter. It's hoped money raised will help pay to bring family members back from the United States to support them.
You can only imagine what 83-year-old Ray Reeves must have felt. With his wife Margaret in the passenger seat, Ray says when he turned the car on, he heard a loud roar, but thought it was the four-wheel drive next to him.
It happened so quickly, like I had to stop the car going back, I had about 2 or 3 seconds, and then it went forward at such a speed I had 2 or 3 seconds to adjust something in a space of about 20 feet. I just couldn't manage it.
When the car smashed through the window of his daughter's dance studio, in its path was Wollongong performer Stacey Hansnecht and her 18-month-old daughter Indigo. Both were rushed to hospital, Indigo with a fractured skull.
I tried like I've never tried so hard in all my life to miss those people and to stop the car, and I just could not manage to do it.
A mechanical examination of the car is still being conducted, but more importantly for Ray, today, friends reported Stacey and Indigo were both on the mend.
Oh heavens, I've never stopped crying, and I'm just so upset about it. And I just hope everything will be all right.
Local singer Malika Elizabeth saved the life of her 1-year-old son when she grabbed him from the path of the car. Today, Malika, nursing a few bumps and bruises, said this weekend the Village Variety Review at Coaldale, which she runs, will now be a fundraiser to help Stacey and Indigo.
Whatever she needs, any help we can give her, and I'll have a bank account set up for her by tomorrow.
Dance studio owners Donna and Alan Shingler said they would also hold a fundraiser as they now work to reopen the dance studio. As Donna and Alan now piece the business back together today, it was the community outpouring which swept them off their feet. Some people dropped off meals, others dropped off books. One local business has even offered their own space to help them continue classes.
It's great. I mean,
I think they call that the Australian spirit, don't they?
Australian spirit.
But that's the community we live in.
Rob Morrison, Win News.
A post-mortem has been completed on the body found at Otford. However, police say they aren't releasing any details on the cause of death yet. The man's body was found just after midnight on Monday off a track near Hellhole Beach, which is a well-known nudist spot. It followed a report from 000 of a fight hours earlier. 2 men from Fairfield were assisting police with their inquiries yesterday, and no charges have been laid. Police are yet to release the victim's name or age.
The 10th I-98 FM Camp Quality Convoy is shaping up as the biggest yet. The countdown has officially started to the event, which has raised more than $4 million for kids with cancer.
Convoy organisers, drivers and those families it helps gathered to launch the 10th I-98 FM Camp Quality Convoy.
12 months in the making for the committee to put it together and get it sorted for the 16th of November, but we're excited.
We are so pumped. 10 years.
10 years of making a difference to the lives of children with cancer. So far, more than $4.3 million has been raised for Camp Quality, money which goes towards helping kids like Ruby Marriott and her family.
And they've been really, really good in terms of providing a great support network with other families with cancer.
Camp Quality also helped Beck Lavetta Stewart while son Blaine battled leukaemia. He's been in remission now for 6 years.
It's been a very long 8 years since Blaine was diagnosed with leukaemia, but Camp Quality have been our backbone, our rock, our support network through it all.
On the third Sunday in November, thousands will line the streets of the Illawarra as the convoy makes its annual trip down Mount Ousley to Croom Road at Albion Park. Last year, 782 trucks and 900 bikes took part. Momentum's already starting to build for this year's event.
Very, very big day. It's our Christmas, really. It's such an amazing day.
It's a day that they can just forget about everything that's going on behind the scenes for them and just enjoy it.
Rob Beaumont, Win News.
Police officers were recognised for an unwavering contribution in helping to keep the streets safe at an awards ceremony at Lake Illawarra station today. New South Wales Police Commissioner Andrew Scipione was there to hand out the accolades for men and women who've dedicated more than half their lives to the organisation.
A proud moment for an officer who has dedicated close to 3 decades to the force, presented with 3 medals, including a National Service Award.
I was a bit surprised.
Sergeant Brett White joined the Thin Blue Line in 1987 at just 19, transferring to the region in 1992. His hometown is where he's faced some of his most trying moments, including leading the response to a boat capsized in horrendous conditions off Shell Harbour in 2003.
Unfortunately, one of the fishermen from the boat, when the boat went over, he ended up drowning, but the boat ended up getting washed up onto the rocks. And they were fortunate enough to be able to get the other chap that was still inside the upturned boat.
Sergeant White was also part of a contingent to help in the Victorian bushfires in 2009, the first time New South Wales Police had helped their neighbouring states.
By and large, these officers are involved in incredibly dangerous, difficult tasks every day. This recognises year upon year upon year of service.
Sergeant White was among dozens of officers recognised at the awards ceremony at Lake Illawarra Station for service, courage and bravery, all in the line of duty.
These are the silent heroes. These are the men and women that come to work every day, not knowing what to expect, but knowing that they potentially could be in harm's way or helping somebody. And today's just a chance for us as an organisation to recognise them.
Officers say it's not the accolades that keep them going day in, day out.
We take pride in where we live and trying to make it a better place.
Melissa Jaros, Win News.
An outbreak of foot and mouth disease in Australia would be devastating to our agricultural industry. Representatives of government and industry bodies have taken part in a training exercise in which they had to deal with a mock outbreak of the illness.
Australia is thankfully free of foot and mouth disease. It would cost the industry $50 billion if the illness broke out here, and the economy would take 10 years to recover. The agriculture industry and government bodies remain vigilant. That vigilance has taken the form of an exercise in which a mock outbreak of the disease needs to be contained.
If there was a sail on and this was full of cattle, we'd come out here, we padlock the perimeter, we have a look to see if any contamination can get into rivers and things like that.
The first one is animal welfare. How do you deal with over 100 animals that are going to be here for 72 hours? They're going to need to be watered, they're going to need to be fed, they've got to be tested for the disease, etc., etc. We're also practicing how we would secure this site to ensure that the animals didn't leave.
Foot and mouth disease affects cloven-hoofed animals and is not contagious to humans. The group prepared for a situation in which the movement of all livestock would be stopped.
If an outbreak of foot and mouth disease were to occur, the need to act fast would be essential. Today's participants are finding out just what they need to do to manage such a scenario.
The response time is critical. This is the most highly contagious animal disease that we know. It can spread extremely quickly, and if you let animals move from one place to another and they've already got the disease, other animals can pick it up very quickly.
The wind spreads this disease so quick. If the foot and mouth was in Bungendore yesterday, it'll be here tomorrow, so it just goes through the air so quick.
Organisers say the exercise provides the practice that government and industry needs to prepare for the worst. Matthew Sadler, Win News.
Ahead on Win News, several options put forward for potential uses of historic Glenipha Brae.
And how you can help those in need just by using your smartphone. A restaurant, function centre and even an overnight campsite have been suggested as possible future uses for the historic Glenipha Brae, while still maintaining the heritage value. Wollongong City Council has revealed it spent $1 million on the facility in the past 7 years.
The University of Wollongong's $40 million plans were hailed a saviour for the long-term viability of Gleneffer Brae. When councillors voted down the plans in 2012, it meant going back to the drawing board. Now Wollongong Council staff have recommended proposals once again be called for.
The proposal was to go out there and find a better means by which that property can be used,
including a high-end restaurant and overnight accommodation for major events such as writers' festivals. All suggestions from a range of business and community groups, among them the Illawarra Property Council and the local branch of the National Trust.
Many people have been married there over the years, and that was a great venue for a wedding ceremony as well as the wedding feast. So, yeah, that might be part of the mix.
That could be a challenge with the Conservatorium of Music currently leasing the buildings. It contributes around $45,000 in rent. However, maintenance is expected to cost council $100,000 this year. Papers to be discussed at Monday's council meeting show over $1 million was spent in the last 7 years across the total Gleneffer Brae site. The Lord Mayor is hopeful of getting the balance right that won't break the budget.
We have to work with the Conservatorium to get the maximum benefits out of that site, not only to continue their wonderful work as a conservatorium, but also how do we create community access to that beautiful old building, the Manor House.
Melissa Jaros, Win News.
A community group that helps feed families doing it tough is using technology to reach more people. A new phone app will place help right in people's pockets, and it's hoped other community services will soon follow suit.
It won't produce food, nor can it sell it. But this little screen has the ability to feed thousands. This is the first look at the new app developed by Illawarra community group Need a Feed. It brings together those who want to help and those who need it.
There'll be free meals services in the Illawarra, also low-cost meals. Sponsors, featured sponsors, there's a whole bunch of things.
At the push of a button, the app allows businesses or homes to contact Need a Feed to pick up food they'd like to donate. You can also register to become a food collection point. Once online, people who download the app will be able to see where free meals are and the time of day they're available.
All the information will be right there, and wherever they are, they will be able to go to the app and find out where the free meals are, all the low-cost meals, and all the other services that are available.
But Need a Feed still needs help. Coordinator Shaz Shaw is selling her own car to help fund the purchase of a new food van for deliveries. She hopes the new app will help more sponsors get on board.
With our Need a Feed events, it takes a minimum of 6 cars to transport all of the food to the host organisation, so a van would at least save a couple of trips for us.
Need a Feed is holding a fundraiser benefit this Friday night at City Beach Function Centre to try and raise more funds. Tickets are still available. Rob Morrison, Win News.
A local group has gone 9 rounds as part of the New South Wales Knockout Health Challenge, known as the Illawarra Tighten Ups. The team has almost completed the 10-week program. It trains 3 days a week at the Shell Cove Family Health Centre with the help of a number of professionals. It's all part of the Medicare Locals Closing the Gap program.
The program isn't just about losing weight, it's about learning new life skills, learning how to exercise with not much equipment. It's about learning new skills by having dietitians come in, psychologists come in, and different exercises that my people, can learn from.
The program caters for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are at higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease and diabetes.
This is the second year of the Dogs for Diggers program, the only one of its kind in Australia. It's being hailed a success for helping both inmates and return service personnel. Trained by 16 inmates, 26 dogs have now been given to diggers. Minister for Justice Brad Hazzard says this program is cutting edge and at the forefront of any programs offered in the country.
For many of these dogs, they were facing death row, but before it was too late, they were saved by the Dogs for Diggers program. These dogs aren't the only ones that have been saved. Inmates at the Bathurst Correctional Centre have spent the last 6 months training these dogs to serve diggers that have returned with emotional or physical injuries that make it difficult to transition back into civilian life. For many of the diggers, it's a life-changing moment.
It's an amazing program, and
I feel very privileged to have been a part of it, and I know the work that they do makes a huge difference in the lives of veterans who have had experienced trauma and having trouble coming to terms with it.
In many ways, the program is a healing process for everyone involved, from the dogs to the inmates to the recipients.
It's pretty full on. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They live in our rooms with us, so they're always with us. So they're like a best friend in here. So it's good to have someone like that in here.
This is an amazing program, changing lives, not only for the inmates but for the diggers, and I think that means a healthier community all round.
The inmate handlers do a fantastic job. For many months they sleep with the dogs, they train the dogs to be able to pick up items in around on the floor. They also open cupboards. Very important.
After spending all that time together, goodbye is always going to be hard.
It is hard to say goodbye, but to see the change that it makes on the people's faces, the soldiers, the recipients, to see the change in them once they receive their dog, it's just overwhelming.
Well, Jake's already made a difference in our lives. He's there, he's a friend, he's unconditional love and companionship, and he can sense when you're not feeling so good and just comes up and wants to be there, right there with you.
But it's not just the diggers the dogs have an effect on. It's the whole family.
Probably just sleeping with him, watching telly with him, playing with him outside and watching him run.
Kate Fotheringham, Win News.
Amy has all your sport, including the Hawks and the Roller Hawks joining forces.
That is right, Jeff. Both sides will play at the Snake Pit this weekend. Plus, a Maria skydiver returns from yet another successful World Championships. Balgownie cyclist Scott Law has claimed the opening stage of the Tour of Gippsland this afternoon. The 7th event on the Subaru Road National Series, Law took out the 91-kilometre road race at Warragul ahead of teammate Brendan Jones. The victory puts Law into the Tour's yellow leaders jersey by 1 second ahead of tomorrow's 115-kilometre stage. The Wollongong Hawks will return to the court for their second pre-season trial on Saturday, this time with both imports on hand. The Hawks will face a touring Chinese National League club, with the Roller Hawks also in action on the night.
The Wollongong Hawks roster is now complete for the upcoming NBL season, with Dom Cooks returning for his second year and Luke Jemison holding his spot as the development player.
Yeah, it was obviously really disappointing last year when I hurt my knee and had to have surgery. It was a long road. I think it took about 6 months, but I've been back playing for a couple of months now and been able to prove to Gordy and the other coaches that I'm all healthy, and yeah, good to go.
With just one hit out so far this pre-season, the Hawks are eager to test themselves against another opponent on Saturday, and they'll do it against one of the NBL's greatest coaches, Brian Goorjian, and his Dongwan Leopards side.
Very excited. We've been training for 6 weeks just going against each other and haven't really played any games, so it's good to finally get out and beat up on other people other than ourselves.
The game will spark the start to a busy period for the Hawks, who will face several NBL sides over the coming weeks, leading into the official start to the season.
From this weekend we've got games, pre-season games every weekend. We go up to Brisbane for the pre-season tournament and then up to Cairns for another tournament. And then we come back down here for a week off, and then the season starts a weekend after that on the 10th.
Saturday's trial will coincide with the Wollongong Rollerhawks doubleheader at the Snake Pit. The national wheelchair basketball side will play Victoria at 5 o'clock in a curtain raiser before backing up on Sunday.
It's not every week we get a chance to check out the Rollerhawks. I know it's a big weekend for those guys. I think it might be one of the last games of their season, so it's really important that they get a big crowd down here to watch them as well.
Tim Robinson, Win News.
Illawarra Cutters forward Shannon Wakeman has picked up the club's top honour, being named Player of the Year. Wakeman's been a force for the Cutters in their best season so far, helping the side to a top 4 finish in the New South Wales Cup.
No, I was very happy to receive the award. There was a lot of good players in the team, and I just was fortunate enough to get the award, so I'm very happy.
The prop received his award from St George Illawarra coach Paul McGregor, who's touted him as a future member of the Dragons pack.
I've known Mary since I came back down from the Penrith when I was up there for a little bit, and he's a great coach, and hear words, we're proud.
The Cutters will face Penrith in the first round of the New South Wales Cup final series on Sunday. Sussex Inlet's Matt Moss has claimed back-to-back national motocross championships. After winning the title in 2013, Moss took out the first round of the new series back in March and has never looked back, holding on to the #1 red winners' plates throughout the 10-round series. Moss finished 8th in the final round at Coolum in Queensland, doing enough to win the title by 13 points from his nearest rival Kirk Gibbs. Brother Jake finished the season in 6th spot. Australian skydive representatives Julia McConnell and Michael Vaughan have returned home from another successful World Championship campaign. The pair claimed silver in the two-way canopy formation, edging out the United States for the first time.
Back on home ground, Julia McConnell reflected on her feat of winning a silver medal at the World Skydiving Championships in Bosnia.
There were 19 teams in our competition, but there are only 5 points between the top 3 teams. We were 1 point ahead of the United States and only 5 points behind the French.
After teaming up with partner Michael Vaughan in 2008, the pair have gone on to represent Australia at 4 World Championships, claiming 2 silver and 1 bronze medal. Their recent performance earning them a new Australian record.
We had a fast round on round 3 and we broke our Aussie record of 31 points in time, and that was actually the highest scoring round in the competition, so we were super stoked with that.
That record jump also marked another significant milestone for Julia, but it was one she kept to herself until landing.
So it was my 8,500th jump. I didn't tell the boys until we landed because it was the fastest round in the competition and didn't want to put any extra pressure on us, and so once we landed, had a big celebration and we were stoked.
Back to work in Moruya for the next few months, McConnell will prepare for yet another Australian record attempt in 2015.
Our record that we just did was a performance record for our event two-way canopy formation. Next year in October we're planning the largest canopy formation in Australia, and it'll be a 50-way. So keep your eyes posted for that.
Tim Robinson, Win News.
Illawarra Premier League Netball Minor Premiers Vipers will be forced to play one more game to qualify for the grand final after being edged out by Brindles in the major semi. The 43-42 defeat was just the first loss for a dominant Vipers in 2014, despite having to forfeit one match earlier in the season. SMJ will now face the Minor Premiers in the qualifying final on Saturday after they held off the Corrimal Cadets 37 points to 33. That is our midweek sport. Jeff will have all the weather details next, then we'll check the latest from the ski fields.
"60 Minutes, Sunday.
Another cold day across the region as we check the satellite. Patchy cloud extending along the New South Wales coast with a strong south-southwesterly flow is producing some scattered showers. On the synoptic chart, a Tasman low should edge closer to New Zealand, causing wind, showers and waves to gradually ease on the New South Wales coast. Temperature-wise today, Wollongong to 15, Bowral just 11, 16 in Nowra, Ulladulla 15, Batemans Bay 14, 16 the top in Moruya, Narooma 15, 14 then for Bega, Merimbula and Eden. The forecast for the Illawarra on the highlands, partly cloudy, some isolated showers mainly near the coast, winds south to southwesterly between 25 and 40 kilometres an hour. For the south coast, a partly cloudy Thursday, areas of early morning frost about the coastal ranges with a chance of showers, winds between 25 to 35 kilometres an hour. Seas are running at 2.5 to 4 metres on a 3 to 4 metre swell, really pounding in. The first tide tomorrow is a high at 3:18, the low is at 3 minutes after 9. Eden looking at 16 tomorrow, the same for Merimbula, Bega and Narooma, 16 in Moruya Heads, Batemans Bay to 17, Ulladulla 16, Nowra 16, Bowral 13 in Wollongong 10 to 16. Looking further ahead, some scattered showers for the coast on Friday, the slight chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday.
And now to the snow report with Lauren Tomasi.
Hello from Thredbo, where spring skiing is kicking off the right way with 25 centimetres of snow in the past 24 hours. It's looking like skies are going to clear up from today with only a few clouds around and great riding on offer across 100% of the resort. The temperatures dropped well into the negatives overnight, and that has seen the cover dry out perfectly. The top layer of snow is fresh and chalky with some great pockets to be found all across the mountain. The beginners are finding their snow legs at Friday Flat, while the intermediates are tearing up the cruiser area where the cover is fun and fresh. Now, if you are new to the snow play area will be perfect for you, with a bunny slope for tobogganing and tubing for the whole family. For all the information, head to thredbo.com.au. While this wind chill is cold up here today, it's getting down to around negative 16 degrees, so do be sure to rug up. It's looking like the clouds will clear, and with this awesome snow, it's time to get down for some spring riding. In Thredbo, I'm Lauren Tomasi.
And that is with news for this Wednesday night.
Join us again tomorrow at 7.
Good night.
Good night.
This
This has been a Win News presentation from Win, Australia's #1 regional television network.